حياكم الله متابعينا الكرام من جديد في فيتستري، حيث نسطر أروع القصص في تاريخنا الرياضي. مو من السهل أنك تبدأ في مجال مهني وبعدين تغيره، ولما تغيره تبدأ. والأصعب من هذا كله أنك تبدأ شيء جديد، تبدأ هواية مثلا ما كنت مهتم فيها من قبل، وبعدها تصير واحد من أكبر الأسماء في هذا المجال. لكن ضيفة حلقتنا لليوم مثال حي على أنه لا يوجد مستحيل في هذه الحياة. رحبا معنا من نجمة حلقتنا عبير الخاجة. عبير، سعيدين جدا بتواجدك.
وأنا أسعد والله، يعطيكم ألف عافية.
الله يعافيك. عبير, let's start from the beginning. So many people might have heard about how Abeer started in sports. Although we want to hear that, but we want to know before, when Abeer was young Abeer, what was she interested in? And would she be proud of Abeer today? Tell us.
Hey, good question. I don't think I've been asked that before. Honestly, before getting into sports, I would say that, or my interest when I was younger, was similar to people my age maybe at that time. It was mainly influenced by pop culture. So we were into movies a lot, going to the cinema, watching what's next, what's coming out this weekend, spending time with our friends. The internet was something new, so going online, surfing the net, figuring out and navigating all that. Those were some interests. Other interests were, I used to love to write. I used to read mainly English novels, but not so much. I think I liked writing more than just reading. So if there was a chance to write an article for the school paper, or if there was a chance and I had some free time just to sit with my friends and we'd come up with make up a song with lyrics or something like that, just for us, just for fun. So I think that was a little bit about maybe when I was younger, me before all of the sports. Besides that, I would say I was always into music, but not necessarily all music, but it was something that, again, with my friends that we enjoyed, with my sisters and so on.
Did you have like a mini band?
Oh, we didn't have a mini band, but as I said, we'd write lyrics and stuff. You don't want to hear them now; they're embarrassing. But it was just that was what we were influenced by, or pop culture at that time, and that's how we grew up to know all these things. That's pretty much it.
And then what got you into sports? What happened?
Okay, so I've mentioned this before maybe, but I got through this period where I was getting really sick, and my immunity was very low. And it was in Ramadan, and I got really tired in Ramadan. Everyone around me was fine and active, but I wasn't. So that's when I decided to see the doctor, and the doctor recommended that I start some classes in the gym. Of course, I had no idea or knowledge, and we didn't have this background of going to the gym at that time, at least not for girls my age. So not that there's anything wrong with that.
How old were you?
I was not that young. I was 25, 26.
25, 26.
Yeah, that's when I started.
So most people would expect you to have your life figured out at that point, yeah?
Tamam, exactly. I'm already working, already focused on my career, and, spending time with friends, or, learning a little bit more about myself, getting into social media like Twitter. But it wasn't something that was a norm, going to the gym at that time. Only sporty girls would go to the gym at that time. So when I started the personal training with a trainer, her name is Joy, and honestly, there was this challenge that was happening in the gym, and they offered it for UAE national or Emirati ladies. And it was like a 15-minute workout, and if the girl with the best time wins or gets a better prize, because there were prizes for the top 50 at that time. So I think it was a way for the country or Dubai to encourage Emirati women to train. It worked because my trainer pushed me to do it. I failed the first and the second time, but third time I did it under the cutoff time. So then I understood what it was. It was CrossFit at that time, and I didn't know what it was. And that's how I got into fitness, I guess. When I started searching online about CrossFit, it's not just about one discipline. It's not just like running where you just run. It's you've got different disciplines like gymnastics, you've got running or cardio, some sort of cardio with machine or not. And there's also weightlifting. It could be Olympic weightlifting or just lifting some weights. So there were so many things that I saw online that fascinated me, like women walking on their hands, or doing a pull-up, or something called a muscle-up, which at that time I didn't even know what it was, but it's super cool. So I had to get into it just to see, challenge myself and see if I can do it or not. And that got me to try other sports. What else can I try? All this time I haven't been trying any sports. Let me try. So I tried different sports. Some of them were not so good and successful. Some of them stuck with me. Like, I really love running now. And although I don't do boxing anymore, but it was something that I had so much fun with and I had good trainers with. So it was always a good time. So it's not necessarily always about being in that sport to lose weight or get fit. Sometimes it's just about having fun with the people around you.
So you just started sports to have fun?
Oh.
That was and because the doctor recommended it for you?
It was because the doctor recommended it for me, and I was tired of getting sick all the time. And so that was it. After that, it became more fun because the community in CrossFit or the community in running, most of them, they're my friends now. We are friends for more than now 12, 13 years. So it kind of turned into that. Let's just have fun. Let's just train today together and enjoy that time together.
MashaAllah, I always have a lot of respect for CrossFitters because, let's say bodybuilders, for example, they lift weights. Powerlifters lift heavy weights. But that's basically almost all they do. CrossFitters do something, like do a small portion of each sport. And it's this one place where people go to develop all kinds of skills. And I think through that you got to running. So like you tried running in CrossFit and that's how you fell in love with running, yeah?
Absolutely.
What effect did this change in Abeer have on the people around her?
Okay. So when I first started doing these crazy things and getting some bruises on my shins or my shoulders or my arms were ripped, it wasn't necessarily a very good reaction. But in the same time, it was like, where are you going? I'm going to the gym. Ah, okay. So there wasn't a lot of resistance. Mom has always been supportive. Dad was into bowling, into fishing, into football. So he gets it. So there was no resistance in that sense where, okay, let's train, let's have fun, let's also get healthy.
Yes.
And honestly, it worked for me because I understood what kind of nutrition I required to stay healthy, not necessarily be an athlete. For me, it was just the bare minimum to get me to become healthier. So it's not, I just want to emphasize that fitness or CrossFit is not about being an athlete or elite athlete. Sometimes it's about you have a goal to achieve, and that's the sort of a sport that got you there. For me, it was to be healthier, and that's how I got there. So I learned how to eat, I learned how to sleep better, how to recover. I learned good skills from amazing trainers who, it was like once in a lifetime chance to have these trainers here in Dubai and teach us. That was amazing. So we learned so much from all these experts, and now they're like games athletes and so on. Yeah. So around me, the people around me started to notice that, okay, maybe there is something to this. So I had my younger sister join me in CrossFit. I had my cousin, and until now they practice fitness. They practice CrossFit sometimes, or they play tennis, or they get into what they also felt. Yes, this is the sport for me. So that was a smaller effect. The bigger effect for me, it was very important to use my social media to emphasize or to voice the sort of things that are out there that not necessarily we don't all know. So just like I didn't know about CrossFit, I started talking about CrossFit, and people found out what CrossFit is about.
Okay, yes.
And for someone who came from maybe our norm was not going to the gym or participating in any kind of sports events, that changed. So that sort of has a big effect as well. So using social media kind of helped me see that, and then connecting with other people on social media also helped me understand more. And I was able to maybe be part of that too, and encourage people or motivate and inspire people too. It's really important to have that kind of emphasis on sports, just in the sense that, hey, it's not about just becoming an elite athlete, but it's also about let's go and have fun and let's go for a run outside instead of like sitting on the couch all day,
MashaAllah, like when you're talking, I can imagine this community going around with Abeer everywhere.
It's been great because, as I said, meeting trainers from all over the world. We have some world champions in calisthenics living here in Dubai, and they're like the world champions. So why won't I take this opportunity and learn? So people used to go to China to learn about medicine. Well, I have the doctors here or the athletes here.
Yes.
So why not take advantage of that?
الوقاية خير من العلاج. Obviously, if your body is healthier, you're less susceptible to getting injured, to getting sick. MashaAllah. Abeer, tell me how this small community you created helped other Emirati women get into sports? We talked about the effect you had on others, but do you really think this effect you had went like to a bigger scale, like you got more Emirati women into this? Tell me about this.
We might need to ask women about that,
Yeah.
because I would like to know that too. I hope, I wish, I hope so, because what's the point if I put it out there? It's not for attention for me. I have a message. I want more women or Emirati women or even everyone in the community, not necessarily just women, to be healthier. Just because you will be happier, you will be better off, you'll have a better time, you'll enjoy your time more. I'm not saying you have to be an addict and go to the gym all day long. No, but it does have an effect on you personally, career-wise. You start to see things differently. You start to be more active. You start to have more confidence, which is important for the next generations and the younger generations. We know that bullying is a big issue. We know that it happens. It's there. But once these kids have more confidence, why not? And as women, we tend to also shy away from events. We shy away from sports, some sports. And so one of the things that we did was, me and a couple of friends of mine who shared this kind of challenge or passion for running, we thought, okay, why don't we just go run? Us four, us five, we were only 4 or 5 girls. We started running every week. And then people, our moms, sisters, cousins, would join us. So then we became like, hey, 7, then 10. Then there was like, at that time, the director of Dubai Ladies Club, because we wanted to run in a place where girls feel comfortable, and us as well. We feel comfortable in Dubai Ladies Club. So we ran there. And the director at that time saw us from her office, and she's like, who are these girls? Call them in, I want to meet them. And we're like, okay. And so we go to the meeting, and friends of mine go to the meeting, and she's like, I want you guys to use the track for free, and I want you guys to host these sessions free of charge every week, as much as you want. I just want you to come and run. You don't have to be a member. They don't have to be members. If they're members, great. If not, that's okay. Just come and run. And she inspired us. And she was an Emirati woman. And she was a leader in sports. And she's one of our greatest motivations. And we owe her a lot. She then gave us a big challenge a month into us training, just running around. She gave us a challenge. She's like, I want you guys to do a 5K run for me here in a 400-meter track. Do a 5K run event for me. I know. So it was fun though. What we did, we made it like an obstacle race, or kind of a station, like station to station. So we widened the area. We used the whole premises of Dubai Ladies Club, not just necessarily the running club. They have a beach. They have the front where the entrance is. There's a lot of space to run privately, still just women. So we did stations. So we had like 20 stations or 25 stations. So they'd run a little bit, like 50 meters or to 100 meters, and do push-ups, and then continue 200 meters, and then and it was so much fun. So she encouraged us, and she motivated us to do more, to think more. Then we started to think, oh, we need to get certified. We need to get first aid certifications. We need to understand what we're doing. What is running? How is it done? We need to train. We need to become better runners.
That's amazing.
And now we are proud to say that we're called أنا go running, because أنا قوي. So the way we say it باللهجة الإماراتية أنا go. So that's what we say, أنا go running. And then it was something that started with just friends, and then it created sort of a time or a date every Tuesday at Dubai Ladies Club. We all meet there and we run. Once it's a beach workout, once it's a running workout, once it's high intensity. But it pushed us to learn more. So it actually gave me that kind of experience that, no, I need to know what I'm doing. So let me get certified. That's when I got certified. Let me take some running workshops. Let me work on my running. And it's amazing. I want to do that not just for me, but also for the community. Make sure that everybody understands. So now we're proud to say that we are a running club for non-runners. So you don't have to be a runner to come run with us. If you are, that's great.
You still do it every Tuesday?
Every Tuesday. So
guys, any ladies watching, you can join her. We're going to find her at the Dubai Ladies Club on Tuesday.
Sure.
Sakam.
Usually 5:30.
5:30. Mashallah, I was going to ask you about how to reply to people. Like, let's say, parents or families who actually stand in the way of their, let's say, daughters getting into sports. But mashallah, this answer, if anybody ever asks me this question, I'll just play this clip, mashallah, this answer covered the whole thing. And now, let's say Emirati women get into sports. Do you think Emirati women have the capacity to actually perform on an international level. MashaAllah, we've seen some of our champions. We had Safiya Al Sayegh the other day. MashaAllah, Safiya Al Sayegh يعني مستويات عالمية يعني. Do you think that Emirati women have what it takes to compete regularly and to score amazing scores regularly on the global scale? هل عندنا الدعم الكافي للموضوع؟
Let's start with talent. Hussein, you would be surprised. I am in awe of Emirati women in sports. Every day I come across an account or an athlete, or I meet someone and I'm in awe. Like when you meet Safiya and talk to her, and she's so nice and she's so humble, but then you see her in that race, pushing her limits, pushing herself, getting on the podium. That is so inspiring. Yeah. Same thing with Zahra Lari. She's in a sport that's very competitive, figure skating, and it's not something conventional or that we hear about. We don't have ice here, but we have ice rinks. So I think there's always a way. I've seen Emirati women who are determined, not only in sports, in every sector and every field. Look around you now. So this is a great example.
ما شاء الله مخرجتنا نحن
yeah.
producer.
Yeah. So in sports, absolutely, yes. We have so many women, and even in general, even men. We have young talent, old talent. I recently met a young girl at Triathlete Afra. She's 9 years old. She's doing triathletes. She's going to be a UAE champion one day.
MashaAllah.
So there are women.
Yes. Can you introduce triathletes
sure.
to the audience?
Yes. So just so you know, triathlon as a sport has 3 disciplines in it, and it's a race usually with a cutoff time, but it starts with swimming, and then with cycling, and finally with running.
Okay.
Now in the triathlon, what can I say, area or environment, you also have something called duathlons and aquathlons. So it not necessarily has to be all 3 disciplines. Sometimes it's a duathlon where it's also just running and cycling, or an aquathlon with swimming. So that's the sport of triathlon, basically.
And mashallah, you were saying she's 8 years old.
Yes. And she does it with her parents. So I think it's very important to have these kinds of role models. We are very lucky and blessed to have leaders who are our role models in sports, like Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, who's always there in every jiu-jitsu championship, or Sheikh Mohammed Barashid with the Dubai World Cup, and Sheikh Hamdan with Dubai 3030 and the Dubai Games. Run and Gulf Games.
I like the Gulf Games because I participated twice.
How was it?
It was really nice.
Okay.
I felt the difference between 2019 and 21.
Yes.
It was a very big difference.
And they challenge you, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
And then you come out of Gulf Games and you're like, oh my God, I gotta go back to the gym. I gotta get better. I gotta get faster, right? So
فهل تحسين ان المرأة الإماراتية عندها الدعم? Do you think that Emirati women can do this regularly?
So as I said, it's really important to have this for every athlete. For Emirati women specifically, some things might be not always in our favor. So the support is there internationally and locally. Locally, thankfully, we have the General Authority for Sports. We have the different sports councils in the Emirates. We have the federations. We have the National Olympic Committee. Just last weekend, the Emirati team took part in the Kuwait Olympics. So yes, there is a lot of opportunity. There is support. I would like to see more support from the private sector, and maybe because they don't know much about these athletes or about these sports. But thanks to programs like these and shows like yours, hopefully the word spreads and people know that we have all this talent and we need to take care of it, because it's not just one. We want them to reach international level. We do have athletes and Emirati women who have reached to international podiums and levels, like Shahad Budebs with the CrossFit Games. That's just one example. But we want more. We want more Shahads. We want more Safiyas. We want more of Emirati women in international platforms, inshallah.
MashaAllah, mashallah. You said amazing stuff about Emirati women. And I have this thing at the back of my head where people sometimes mention زين دور المرأة بعد في بيتها.
Hey.
يعني do sports affect Emirati women being good mothers, or do they actually help? I've seen this whole mashallah coverage by Amal Murad lately, a leap of hope, of how she incorporated sports into her motherhood. So can you just tell me a little about this?
So I can only tell you, I've trained mothers, I've trained daughters, I've trained mother and daughter together. I've seen mothers do amazing things in sports. Not necessarily. So it's all about, I would say, as an athlete, one thing you should know, or as a person who wants to stay and fit, you need to know how to manage your time properly. And with imagine being a mother and a housewife, or being a mother working mom and having a home to take care of and a family, as well as work and train. So I would say it's sometimes a very difficult thing. I'm not going to say it's easy, it's a challenge. But I've seen some women do that. I've seen Emirati women do that. I've seen mothers encourage or come to class to encourage their daughters to train. And I have actually a few examples. They're amazing. And they now bond together and go to the class together until now. And they train together. So why not? I think sports adds to that. It's just another activity, another memory, and something to cherish within the family. So as I said, there are challenges for women in general. There are things but we can always think about it in a positive way. If, for example, Abeer can go run outside, but مثلا a friend of mine cannot, she can always run in Dubai Ladies Club. So there are facilities. The great thing about the UAE, and right now I can talk about Dubai because that's where I live, we have an amazing sports infrastructure. We have indoor pools, we have indoor gyms, we have private pools, private gyms, we have outdoor tracks, we have cycling tracks. So not only do we use them as Emirati women or Emiratis in general, we have people coming from abroad to train here. Believe it or not, we had athletes who were training here before the Olympics. So, and they still are here training for Paris Olympics.
Inshallah.
Because we have such a great infrastructure, and the weather helps as well for some sports. And now we even have, like, you want land, you want desert, you want sea, you want ice. We have all that. Snow.
All the options are available.
Yeah.
MashaAllah, you spoke about calisthenics champions being in the country, and we have
Yes.
actually interviewed Roger, who is the world calisthenics champion in the lightweight category. MashaAllah, Dubai has evolved so much in the past few years in terms of sports.
Hey.
What do you think the future holds for Dubai in this field, in sports and training, and especially for the Emirati women, since that's what we're talking about?
What is so exciting about Dubai, again, going back to the infrastructure, we not only commit like His Highness Sheikh Mohammed saw that there are so many cyclists, and then created Al Qudra cycling track, and then a few years later, or a few decades later, we see that turning into a cycling friendly city. So it's part of our plan, urban planning, if I can say that. The same thing with the bridges and the roads, they're safer right now. So you have that chance for cycling. Same with paddle. We see all these paddle courts coming up all over Dubai and the UAE. That's because there is an interest. That's because maybe this is a way to motivate younger generations to get into sports. If this is the sport they want, let's provide the infrastructure. So this is just one step. I think that Dubai has a lot of potential, and we see that in every single segment or sector. Why not in sports? So inshallah, we will see more champions. Inshallah, we will see better infrastructure. Inshallah, we will see maybe better management of the sports industry and the athletes and talent, taking care of the talent that we have. Somehow relating it to education, so that our younger generations can also get into sports without hesitation. Not wait for me in my 20s to get into a gym and subscribe to a membership to start training. Hopefully.
MashaAllah, I've seen in one of your older podcasts, you said that in 5 years, I have this vision that I will see Emirati women going out there and running, not only in like ladies only environments, but just in general. Yani, Emirati women would not shy from participating in stuff. And MashaAllah, now I see that they also have a plan for the future. But what does the future hold for Abeer? We spoke about Dubai, the Emirati women, but what does the future hold for Abeer?
Honestly, for me, I struggle with a lot of sports, but I don't see it as a bad thing. I see it as a challenge. For example, I'm not a good swimmer. I'm gonna do an Ironman someday. So that's
amazing.
So
it's
like
a challenge.
It's not easy. It's not easy, and it takes a toll. Especially, we tend to be so hard on ourselves. Like the toughest person on you is always you, because you always want to perform better. You always want to do better. But then you have to take a step back and be like, listen, that pride is not going to get you anywhere. Leave the pride outside the gym. You go in, you train as though this is, you're training for a competition. But in the end of the day, you're just getting better day by day. It's nothing more than that. So maybe doing a triathlon is one of them, like an Ironman or just a triathlon. I would be satisfied if I can do that. I definitely want to do another marathon again, inshallah, hopefully sooner. And then maybe also sharpen my cycling skills. I'm not so good as a cycling. So as I said, the things that I aspired to now, or maybe this is something that I'm going to share with you now, I haven't shared before. The things I aspired to now are way different than what I aspired to 7-8 years ago. 7-8 years ago, it was to do one pull-up. That's it. Now it's like, no, I want to do an ultra marathon, or I want to do a triathlon, something extreme. So I'll put on a weighted vest and go out with a group called Extreme Endurance, and we're gonna go hike in Ski Dubai. We're gonna just go up and down the slope with a weighted vest, because this is ultimately gonna help me later on with my training and something else. It's gonna help me with my endurance. It's not necessarily great to do at that time. It doesn't feel so great. It feels really hard. But I know that it will help me be a better athlete, or a better maybe coach to my clients, or even to be a better, have a better vision of sports in the community. So if we can do these like small things, share a few good content on sports on social media, if we tweet about it, tell our friends, talk about it at work, you never know. This could echo 10 times more, and it could become something greater. And it would just benefit everyone, inshallah.
Inshallah. Abeer, thank you very much. Well, I'm having a lot of fun.
Me
I had
too.
a lot more questions, بس ده أهم الوقت صراحة. This was one of the funnest episodes. I
I'm
don't know
so
if that's
glad.
a word in the first place. Abeer, at the end of every episode, we present a challenge to our
Okay.
guest. And your challenge is in this envelope.
Oh, okay.
Please open it and read it out loud for the audience.
Okay.
They know the
Are you
challenge.
guys nervous? I'm nervous. Oh, okay. Abeer, can you take our producer through the Murph challenge? Are you sure?
So our producer volunteered to go through the Murph challenge, and Abeer, being
do it.
a coach, inshallah she'll be able to take her through the challenge.
Absolutely. Why not?
Inshallah. You'll be participating in the challenge yourself, yeah?
Yes. So the challenge is a 1.6K run, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, and then a 1.6K run. So
Wow.
and with a weighted vest.
MashaAllah. I mean, the air squats 300 sound easy, but once you add the vest,
It's not easy, but it will be a good workout.
Inshallah.
For sure.
Inshallah. Our producer, Sarah, Allah يعينك. Abeer, thank you very much for being here with us
you.
today. مشاهدينا الكرام، استمتعنا وايد ويا عبير، وإن شاء الله نشوفكم في حلقة جديدة، نجم جديد، FitStory جديد.